In this video, we're going to do a 1-year review on this 2020 Toyota Tundra. This is a 4-wheel drive, 5.7 liter. That was the only engine available in 2020 for the Tundras. It has the Crew Max cab, and the only bed length with the Crew Max cab was 5.5 feet, so it's a very short bed. We bought this truck brand new in June of 2020. I think at the time it had just a few hundred miles on it from test drives and dealer use and stuff like that. We now have a little over 16,000 miles on it. I average about 14 to 16 miles per gallon, depending on where I'm driving, how I'm driving. The tank, I just checked it, this tank mileage per gallon is 15.5, and I've been just driving back roads since I filled up last, so it does pretty good on gas. The reason we bought this truck over the Ford F-150 or the Chevy 1500 or the Ram 1500, those were the other three that we were looking at, was the reliability. That was really the biggest thing I was looking for. I really didn't care about mileage, didn't care about much anything else. I was pleasantly surprised with how much room the Crew Max cabin offers. We now use this more than we do my wife's SUV. It sits all the time. This is our family vehicle. I have one daughter. She has special medical needs, so we haul her wheelchair in the back. That's why I have that cap on. And we get a lot more use out of this truck now than we got out of our old truck, which was a extended cab 3/4 ton Ford. So we were very surprised once we got into this truck at how much use we get out of it. We just took it on a road trip this weekend. We went from, I live near Cincinnati, Ohio. We went up to Lake Erie, which was took us about 4.5 hours to get there. It was about a 4-hour trip back home, so it was really comfortable riding. Didn't have really any complaints out of the wife or I. My little girl, she was like any other kid, just ready to get out of the truck, you know. But the front seat and everything it's holding up okay. The running boards, I actually kind of hate these running boards. They're the step is just small enough where it's not convenient to use the step, and the bar is up so close to the cab that you can't step on the bar. There has been more than one time that I have stepped on here and my foot slip off because I can't get my whole foot on the step just so. So I hate these running boards. The wife doesn't use them. I don't use them. Very rarely I'll put my foot up on here to get in. But getting out, I never use them getting out. And I'm afraid that I'm going to wear my seat out right here because I slide off of it so much. But so far it's holding up very well. And again, over 16,000 miles. You know, and those are all, I drive more back roads than anything. I take my daughter to school every day, pick her up every day. So a lot of short trips, a lot of getting in and out. She is my full-time job. So, you know, I'm kind of the soccer mom. So I'm really in this thing a lot, often. I don't go for very long trips normally. That weekend trip we just took was our first vacation. So it's normally little trips with this thing. It's holding up really well. It's dirty in here. You can see all the dust on everything. The only problem that we have had out of this truck is the radio. The electronic crap that if you saw my initial review of this truck when we first bought it, I was not thrilled that this truck came with so much electronic stuff. It's got Bluetooth, it's got Apple CarPlay, it's got lane assist. It's got like a radar thing for cruise control. I really didn't want all that stuff in my truck, but this is the most stripped down model that you can get. This is the bare bones model, and I wanted that because I wanted this bench seat. I've got my console flipped down right now, but that does flip up and makes a nice little bench seat. So in order to do that, to get that bench seat, the first upgrade that Toyota makes is they take out the bench seat and put in two single seats. But I mean, essentially this is a single seat with a little flat in between, so not much difference really in that sense. We're happy with everything. I've got the Husky floor liners in it, and you know, they're doing very well to keep the dirt and stuff out of here. I did the front and the back. Of course, that didn't come with the truck. We purchased those separately. But you know, that one issue with the radio, I guess I should back up a step. The only issue that we've had is the clock not working on the radio. There's been a couple times I got in the truck in the morning, started up, and either the clock won't display anything or it will hold a time. Like I'll jump in it, say it's 7:30 in the morning. I'll drive down the road and I'll look at the clock again and it hasn't changed at all. So that's happened a couple times where it actually almost made me late one day. I didn't realize that the clock wasn't updating itself. It was stuck on a time. So that and the Bluetooth with my phone sometimes does not work. I have an iPhone. My wife does too. We've got the same model. You know, we've never really tried any Android devices or anything, but that's kind of minor. Most of the time it works. It's only been a couple of hiccups where it hasn't. We haven't had any trouble out of the engine, powertrain. They do the Toyota maintenance comes with it when you buy it new. They do 200,000 miles or 2 years, I think, whichever comes first, or 20,000 miles or 2 years. So I let them change the oil and check everything at 5,000 miles at the dealership. They didn't want to do an oil change, but I requested it. They recommend 10,000 mile for oil changes on these things. So I like my oil change a lot more regularly. So I requested and paid out of pocket for oil change at 5,000 miles. At 10,000 miles, you know, that's their Toyota recommendation. They picked up the tab on that one. Essentially, they check all the fluids, rotate the tires, and change the oil. Then this last service, I went ahead and did myself, 15,000. I just changed the oil, checked the cabin air filter. Cabin air filter looks clean. Checked the engine air filter on the engine looks clean. Checked all the other fluids. Everything looks great. We've had no issues out of the truck really to speak of, other than the radio acting up. We did have a flat tire just recently, a few weeks ago. I was driving down the highway, Interstate 275 around Cincinnati. It was a really, really busy area. It was 4 lanes one way. I heard a funny noise, and shortly after, I mean like a few seconds after I heard that funny noise, started hearing like a vibration, like a humming noise. Then the truck started kind of feeling a little funny, and we had thrown a screw out of the tire, I think is what happened. We had a barn constructed at our home, and I think I must have picked up a screw from the driveway. The contractors were really messy with all their screws. I picked up pounds of screws out in the driveway. I must have picked up a screw, and then as I was going down the highway, the screw, I think, flew out. That was the noise I heard, and then that tire went down fast. I mean, probably within half of a mile from hearing that noise, that tire was completely flat. And the reason I give you that little story is I pulled off on the side of this highway, wife and daughter with me. It's like rush hour traffic, you know, 4 lanes. It was as congested as traffic can be. Flying by, you know, as fast as they could go, and to be broke down on the side of the highway is the first time in my 41 years of life, the first time I can remember being broke down on the side of the highway. This was the first time I ever had to change a tire on the side of the highway, and my wife timed me after, you know, I put them off. I got my wife and daughter out, got them way off on the side for safety reasons. I didn't want them in the truck if we got rear-ended. Got the wife and daughter set up on the side of the highway, you know, in a mode patch there. And then I commenced to get under the seat in the back seat. That's where the jack and everything were. I had no idea where that stuff was. I hadn't looked for it before that. I knew it wasn't in the bed. I figured it had to be back here under the seat. So I started rooting around. I was able to find these things I keep in here. But I was able to find the jack and the rods and stuff for the jack. I was able to get this thing jacked up, lower the spare tire using the rods and stuff. That spare tire, let's see, use that little slot, lower the spare tire, jack the truck up, change the tire out, throw every, you know, the busted tire, all the extra stuff. I just threw it in the bed to get us off the highway, but I got all that stuff done. We were back on the highway in less than 15 minutes. So I want to tell you how grateful I am to Toyota for making that stuff as easy to get out, as easy to use, and get me off the highway with my family in less than 15 minutes means the world to me. I mean, I bought it for reliability. I think that kind of plays into the reliability of the thing. And I just can't say enough about how happy I am that they were, you know, Toyota ergonomics and the jack and everything was, I was able to get my family off the side of the highway in less than 15 minutes. So that's a big deal for me. So the truck overall is great. We put that ranch cap on, you know, shortly after we bought it. I don't have any complaints out of the ranch cap. It's holding up very well. I did have got a little chip in the windshield I think I only had the truck about 3 months. And it was the first time I was washing it, and I found just a little bitty stone. I must have picked up a stone or something. But that really is, there's one other spot on the front here. I just did wash the truck. This is only the second time I've ever washed the truck. There's a little nick right here in the paint, but that's the only nick in the paint that I found so far. And I drive on back roads. I mean, heck, I live on a gravel road. And so that one little nick in the paint and that one little nick on the windshield and 16,000 miles on this truck, I think I'm doing pretty good. I think the paint is holding up real well. There's no discoloration, no clear coat peeling off, anything like that. The bugs and stuff, I'm able to clean off the thing real well. I don't know, you know, I've had other vehicles where a bug hits that plastic and you just can't get them off there. You know, they're like in bed. This plastic is slick enough where I'm able to clean it real easy. And I don't clean it off. And like I said, this is only the second time I've hand washed this truck. In the wintertime, I'll spray it off at the automatic car wash. You know, I'll put the quarters in and use the wand and just knock the dirt and stuff off. But I run the cheapest gas I can in it. And I read the manual. It said something about 87 octane. There's no reason to run any higher octane. So I run the cheapest stuff I can. The bed being 5.5 feet hasn't really limited me too much. I've hauled lumber a couple of times now and hauled a bunch of sewer pipe one time. I had to do a drain. Anyhow, some 10-foot sticks of 4-inch sewer pipe I hauled in here. I just left the tailgate up, put the sewer pipe in here, had of course a big bundle of it. There was I think I had 15 sticks, 10-foot sticks sticking out here. I dropped the cap down as much as I could, and I just kind of put a bungee cord around them. It comes with these threaded holes around the inside of the bed. They're 1/4-20 threads. I believe they're 1/4-20. I could be wrong about that. They might be a 6mm. But anyhow, I went ahead and those are put in for Toyota accessories. I went ahead and just put in a couple of these. I call them a D-ring. Just a little hook there. Just little attachment points for like hauling gas cans and stuff like that. Picked those little rings up at Home Depot and then stuck a bolt in them. That does kind of look like a metric bolt. That might be 6mm. It's been a while. The paint in the bed is holding up okay. I mean, I scratch it here and there. You know, I use it as a truck. I don't abuse it, but I do use it. And the soft open on the tailgate is still working really well. I don't have any issues out of that. I actually have grown to love that feature. I didn't think I would, but I really, really do. I pull with this thing pretty regularly. I have a 18-foot equipment trailer that I use for just general purpose. I haul my tractor with it, haul other things, cars, trucks, whatever needs hauled on an 18-foot flat deck. So it's just I think the trailer itself weighs about 2,000 pounds. It's 12,000 pound gross weight. I don't have any issues out of pulling. Put the thing in, you know, you hit the little button on the transmission selector stick, put it down into tow mode, and it works great. The brake system, I've got no issues out of that. That tunes really well in the dash. You know, I can show you that in here. Check out my initial review of this truck for all the different features that it does have. I'm not going to go over everything here, but that trailer brake tuning, that works really, really well. So I'm very happy with that. I don't have any issues out of that. Again, while we're in here in the interior is holding up really well. I don't have any issues out of anything. The air conditioning blows ice cold. Back seat again is very, very big back seat. Again, we've got way more room in this than we do my wife's SUV, so we use this. This is our, really, the wife's SUV never, ever gets driven. There is so much room in here that on that trip we just took over the weekend, we had we had 3 adults back here and 1 child in a, we went around this little safari park, you know, sort of an off-road thing. Wife, my daughter, and I were in the front seat. Another couple with their 2 kids. The one, I think he's 19. The girl is 14, and you know, and their mom and dad all rode in the back seat here. They were squished in, but we were able to do it, and everybody had a good time. So there's lots of room in the back seat. There is so much room that I wouldn't mind seeing this crew cab be about. You could honestly make it about 6 inches shorter. When I normally do the driving. And my wife is typically over there. My daughter typically rides in the middle here. We eat in the car all the time. We're all the time hitting drive-thrus. And for me to hand something back to her, the distance between us is actually, it's kind of a pain to hand stuff back because she sits so far away. So anyhow, there's just that much room back here. If you were to shorten up this crew cab by about 6 inches and add 6 inches on the bed, you know, that might be a little more stuff you could haul. But again, that 5.5 foot bed, I don't see it really as being a big limitation. I thought I was really not going to like it when we first bought it, but I love it. It's just the right size. Hauls everything we need to haul. I guess that's all I can think about, guys. I mean, I really don't have any complaints. You know, again, we bought this in June. It's now August of the next year, and over 16,000 miles on it. Getting about 16 miles per gallon. Body's holding up, paint's holding up, no real issues. So if you're looking for, you know, now it would be a used truck. If you're looking at a 2020 Toyota Tundra, I highly recommend this truck. If I can help you with anything, leave me a question in the comments down below. If you like this video, click that thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this or me working around the house, click the subscribe button. Until the next video, guys, keep on tinkering.